The Black Death, one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, wiped out an estimated 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia during the 14th century. However, what if this catastrophic event had been even more deadly? This question prompts us to consider the potential outcomes and impacts on a global scale. In this essay, we will explore the terrifying possibilities of a more deadly Black Death, including its potential effects on population dynamics, societal structure, economy, and medical advancements. The Black Death, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, spread through fleas infesting black rats that were common on merchant ships. The disease led to severe symptoms such as fever, chills, vomiting, diarrhea, and swollen lymph nodes. The rapid spread of the disease was worsened by poor sanitation, overcrowding, and lack of medical knowledge. The devastating toll on the population transformed social structure and labor dynamics. With a more deadly outbreak, the demographic impacts could have been even more catastrophic, potentially reshaping the course of history. This essay will delve into the hypothetical scenarios that could have unfolded if the Black Death had been even more lethal, shedding light on the potential far-reaching implications. Population dynamics. If the Black Death had been even more deadly, the population dynamics of Europe and Asia would have been dramatically altered. The initial outbreak of the Black Death already caused a significant decrease in population, leading to labor shortages and a decline in agricultural productivity. With a higher death toll, the population decline would have been even more severe, potentially leading to a massive societal collapse. It would have taken much longer for the affected regions to recover and repopulate, consequently altering the course of history. The significant loss of life would have disrupted the existing social order even more profoundly, with families, communities, and entire regions struggling to cope with the scale of the devastation. Moreover, the scarcity of labor would have intensified, forcing the remaining population to take on multiple roles and increasing the demand for workers. This would have led to significant changes in the economic landscape, as labor scarcity drove wages up and shifted the balance of power between laborers and the ruling classes. Moreover, the implications of a more deadly Black Death would have been felt for generations, resulting in a slower demographic recovery, reshaping the ethnic and cultural composition of the affected regions. The potential extinction of certain communities and the reorganization of settlements would have had lasting effects, fundamentally altering the population dynamics and societal structure of Europe and Asia. Societal structure. A more deadly Black Death would have shaken the very foundations of societal structure. The feudal system, which relied heavily on the labor of peasants, would have crumbled even further due to the heightened scarcity of labor. This could have led to uprisings, revolts, and power struggles as the ruling classes struggled to maintain control in the face of dwindling resources and manpower. Furthermore, the impact on the church and religious institutions would have been profound, with many clergy and members of religious orders succumbing to the disease, leading to a crisis of faith and a loss of religious guidance and support for the suffering population. This loss of spiritual leadership would have contributed to the breakdown of social cohesion and moral order, exacerbating the already chaotic and desperate situation. Additionally, the disruption of trade and commerce due to the higher death toll would have further destabilized the existing economic and social structures, leading to widespread poverty, inequality, and social unrest. The consequences of a more lethal Black Death would have been devastating, with long-lasting effects on the fabric of society, including shifts in power dynamics, social hierarchies, and cultural norms. The remnants of this catastrophic event would have continued to shape the trajectory of human history for generations to come. Economy. The economic impact of a more deadly Black Death would have been catastrophic. The initial pandemic already caused widespread economic turmoil, with inflation, unemployment, and a decline in trade. A more deadly outbreak would have exacerbated these effects, plunging the affected regions into prolonged periods of economic depression. The disruption in trade routes and economic activities would have had far-reaching consequences, impacting global commerce for generations to come. The higher death toll would have resulted in a severe scarcity of labor, leading to a significant increase in wages and a shift in the balance of power between the ruling classes and the laborers. This labor scarcity would have forced the surviving population to take on multiple roles to compensate for the loss, further straining the already weakened economy. Additionally, the decrease in productivity due to the lack of manpower would have led to a prolonged agricultural crisis, exacerbating food shortages and increasing the prices of essential goods. The economic depression would have led to widespread poverty, inequality, and social unrest, further destabilizing the existing social structures. The disrupted trade and economic activities would also have profound and long-lasting effects on global commerce, altering the patterns of international trade and contributing to a prolonged period of economic stagnation. The economic repercussions of a more deadly Black Death would have been felt for generations, shaping the economic landscape of the affected regions and impacting the global economy. Medical advancements. On the flip side, a more deadly Black Death could have potentially accelerated medical advancements. In our timeline, the Black Death played a crucial role in the development of early public health measures and the understanding of infectious diseases. With a more deadly outbreak, the urgency to find cures and preventive measures would have been even greater. This could have led to earlier breakthroughs in medicine, epidemiology, and sanitation practices, potentially altering the timeline of medical history. The intensified need to combat the more lethal disease would have likely spurred increased investments in medical research and experimentation. Physicians and healers of the time would have been driven to identify effective treatments and prevention methods, possibly leading to the discovery of crucial medical interventions at an earlier stage than in our timeline. The heightened demand for solutions to the more aggressive manifestations of the disease would have fueled collaborations between medical practitioners across different regions, potentially facilitating the exchange of knowledge and the adoption of innovative approaches to combat the deadly pathogen. Additionally, the more severe impact of the Black Death on the medical community, with a higher number of physicians and caretakers succumbing to the disease, would have highlighted the critical need for protective measures and the development of medical infrastructure to support the overwhelmed healthcare systems. This accelerated and intensified focus on medical advancements, driven by a more deadly Black Death, could have potentially laid the groundwork for more rapid progress in understanding contagious diseases, leading to improved public health systems and medical practices that would continue to benefit humanity for centuries to come. Conclusion. The Black Death, as it occurred in history, had a profound and long-lasting impact on human civilization. If it had been even more deadly, the consequences would have been unimaginable. The altered population dynamics, societal structure, economy, and potential medical advancements paint a frightening picture of what could have been. Thankfully, we are left to contemplate the what-ifs of history while acknowledging the resilience and adaptability of humankind in the face of adversity. A more deadly outbreak of the Black Death would have caused even more dramatic and severe alterations in population dynamics. The scarcity of labor resulting from the higher death toll would have intensified, leading to a prolonged period of societal collapse, with regions taking much longer to recover and repopulate. The loss of life would have disrupted the existing social order even more profoundly, with the scarcity of labor forcing the remaining population to take on multiple roles and driving wages up, thereby shifting the balance of power between laborers and the ruling classes. Additionally, a more deadly Black Death would have led to a slower demographic recovery and reshaped the ethnic and cultural composition of affected regions, ultimately fundamentally altering the population dynamics and societal structure of Europe and Asia for generations. The severe scarcity of labor would have destabilized the feudal system even further, leading to uprisings, revolts, and power struggles. while the impact on religious institutions and the breakdown of trade and commerce would have contributed to a loss of social cohesion and moral order, triggering widespread poverty, inequality, and social unrest. The economic impact of a more deadly Black Death would have been catastrophic, plunging affected regions into prolonged periods of economic depression and altering the patterns of global commerce. On the flip side, a more deadly outbreak could have accelerated medical advancements, leading to earlier breakthroughs in medicine, epidemiology, and sanitation practices, ultimately benefiting humanity for centuries to come.